want it, I get it.
Hi, welcome to Unbothered. This is a podcast for people who can't be bothered with BS. And my name is Jessica Lane. I'm a creative director of messaging in A Bridge Between Worlds. And my podcast partner is Jillian. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Jillian DiBenedetto. I am a design director and I am a LinkedIn protagonist. Hate me if you must, love me if you will. We are here with our first Unbothered episode. We're super excited to dive into it.
We started this podcast Unbothered because we have been looking for full-time jobs for an unusually long time. And we just realized like we can't be bothered with other people's standards. We cannot be bothered with other people's opinions. That is not our business. And so this podcast is going to be about all the things that we're not bothered with. And we'll talk about our journey and how we got to this unbothered phase in our effing 40s.
Our effing 40s. Welcome to I remember my mom had her 40th birthday and she was like fabulous in 40. I'm like, when I'm 40, I'm not going to be fabulous. I'm going to be fucking amazing in 40.
Yes.
And I feel like we've surpassed fabulous. We're way better.
I feel like unbothered is fabulous because people who are fabulous, like they don't really seem to be worried with things that aren't their business.
Yeah, that's true. What's that quote? The way you feel about me is nobody's business but yours. Something like that. I forget what it is exactly. But it's none of my business how you feel about me.
I literally give 0 Fs what other people think about me. I cannot be bothered with that.
Oh my God, the hate mail I've gotten in 2025 has been fucking epic. Like, people hate me. It's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, when you get haters, like that's how you know you're making a big impact because everything is drawn to the light, even bugs. My biggest haters are my parents. That is how I got to my unbothered journey is I don't speak to them. And once I cut them out, I was like, nobody else stands a chance. Like, if you cannot treat me with respect, then I cannot be bothered by participating in a relationship with you.
Yeah, agreed. It's all about like setting your expectations, I think, and how you feel, how you project those expectations into the outside world is what you attract back to you.
That's a big part of it. Yeah. I also noticed that like the more confident I am, the more it disturbs other people. And so it's like, yes, I'm also going to attract more people that are confident, but then I'm also going to attract some people that it irritates and that it bothers. My energy field is made up of mirrors and magnets. I am very watery, like a Cancer, Sun, and Rising. And so I'm very reflective. So when people meet me, they have to look at themselves in the mirror. And if they don't like what they see, they're not going to like how they feel when they're conversing with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's why we're so aligned. We just like our expectations for life are the same. Not only are we of the millennial generation, but I feel like we're functioning on the same wavelength. We have the same expectations for ourselves that we have for other people. And I think that's a really big deal right now.
It's alignment. And I think that, like, when I think about rage, like, I'm not saying I'm full of rage every time I say fuck, but like, rage is sacred and expressing your rage is divine. That's authentic. And that's also how you let the world know I deserve better. Like, when I don't like the way that someone is speaking to me, I check that shit so fast. And I'm like, don't talk to me like that. And when I do that, like it is I am teaching people how to treat me. I am teaching people what my expectations are. It's also a declaration to the universe. The universe is like, we heard that, girl. We heard that. And that's why I think it's really important to express yourself. That's why I love the way that you talk on LinkedIn. It's so refreshing and it's so magnetic. And when I posted on LinkedIn yesterday about this podcast, immediately I got like 3,000 impressions and 40 comments. And I'm like, 40 comments should be more than 3,000 impressions, whatever, LinkedIn. But I was like, okay, I think we're blowing up before it even starts.
Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn, when I first started on LinkedIn, I didn't do it I'm not rage fueled. And some people say they'll come to me and they'll be like, oh my God, you talk different than you write on LinkedIn. Well, no shit.
We're multifaceted beings.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here. First of all, my posts on LinkedIn are written words. So you can think about them. You can delete them. You can rewrite how you feel. I never said I was a comedian. I'm not going to stand up here with a mic and make everybody laugh on the fly. That's not really my personality. I'm more controlled in person. But yeah, when I started, it was just because it was back in April. I was looking for a job and I applied, I want to say to like, I was like 5 jobs. I'll stop it at 5 because I didn't think I was like, oh, I'll have 5 interviews. Like I was so naive back then. And I think I got 1 interview out of those 5 and
Mhm.
they were like, I talked to the recruiter and she's like, "Oh, you don't have experience in pharma." I was like, "Well," I was like, "Yeah, but I can adapt."
And learn,
Yeah,
and,
I've
like,
worked in
damn,
healthcare.
what about the decade of relevant experience that I have? Like, when
Right.
you work in marketing, you're especially when you work for agencies, like, you have a
Mhm.
ton of different, clients and industries that you work
Right.
with. And health and wellness translates to pharma. Finance even translates to pharma because of
Mhm.
all of the rules and the regulations and the disclaimers and, like, the legal jargon, the words you can and cannot say.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. And then, so I wrote this post. It was my first post I ever wrote on LinkedIn because, like everybody else, I was like, LinkedIn is the professional network. This is not Twitter. This isn't Facebook. We're not going to celebrate anything besides employment wins or I've just laid off. I'm looking for a job. And I wrote this post being like, what is our industry becoming? You're telling me that if I don't have experience drawing in macaroni orange. I can't, but I have experience drawing in macaroni yellow, but just not macaroni orange. So I won't even get interviewed for macaroni orange. Like, that doesn't make sense. When you're working at an ad agency, the clients don't come in and say, I only want to pick the people who have worked on macaroni orange. No macaroni yellow. It just,
It
the
doesn't make
idea.
sense. And it's a losing game. Like,
Right.
it's not designed for anyone to win. Like, I had a great interview. It was the first interview I'd had in like a year, and it was for a finance company. And like, I wrote for Charles Schwab through an agency for like a year and 7 months. And when they interviewed me, they were like, we're not going to move forward with you because you have not written long form, like deep dives in finance. And I'm like, this is a marketing role.
Right.
Like, it's not like these companies are cranking out case
Yeah.
studies and white papers every single day. Like,
Yeah.
a white paper is just going to be like something that you do like every once in a while and it's
Right.
mixed in with all your other content. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, I
I
was really
know.
upset.
Honestly, I feel that because it doesn't make sense. There was another job that I interviewed. This one's wild. This was like when I got off the call, I knew I wasn't going to get it. And my husband was home that day and he was like, "What just happened?" Like, I can't even explain to you what happened. Okay, so it was for an ad agency. The client was a makeup brand, and they asked me if I had experience laying out lipstick shades for a display case like they would have in Walgreens or Target. Like
Like
the
visual
circle.
merchandising, like
Yeah, like
tangible visual
right.
merchandising.
Like the circle of a shade with the name under it. And I was like, I've never done that before, but I have done XYZ. I've worked in print practically my entire career because we're millennials. And the internet didn't exist when we, like
And
it does now. When
you
we
put
started.
on multiple shades of lipstick. You probably have multiple shades of lipstick in your makeup bag. Like, that's
Yeah.
all the skill that they're asking for.
So I didn't get it. That was why, because I didn't have experience with that type of design work, which how insane is that?
Interviewed for a copywriter position. This was 2 years ago, and they wanted me to have yacht experience,
Okay.
and they did not elaborate. Like, working on a yacht? Like, I don't live in a
Right.
coastal city. Like, if you
Yeah.
want yacht experience, then you shouldn't be interviewing in Central Texas, which
Right. Oh
there are
my
no
god.
yachts here.
That's so funny.
And again, it's like I've done automotive,
Yeah. I've done ton of automo.
I've done luxury brands. Like, that's who is on a yacht.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. I know. It's oof, I have so many stories. I don't like calling out companies directly though.
Oh, I do.
So I mean, like, to be fair, a lot of the people interviewing me have been amazing. They're great. And I don't think it's them that are necessarily the decision makers, but
They're definitely a part of it. I
yeah,
mean,
they
they're
are.
gatekeeping.
The asks are wild. It doesn't, it's very like I had this one interview and it was between me and this other guy. and the guy had worked at Apple, and they went with, like, the guy who works at Apple. And the creative director told me, he called me actually, and he was like, "Yeah, so the client, really wanted to go with the guy that works at Apple." I was like, "Okay, like, I can't compete with that. I can't compete with people from
And they
Apple
see
and
that first. Like, they already knew you did not work at Apple.
Oh, right, right. So, like, why put me through 3 or 4 rounds of interviews? I know. Right.
Like, I'm a thought leader. A lot of people cringe at that word. I don't care. Like, yes, I'm a thought leader. My thoughts lead people
You're leaving
places.
thoughts.
Like, I'm a copywriter. I'm a creative director of brand voice and messaging. Like, yeah, my thoughts are going to make people feel something. That's what copy
We're
does.
practically cult leaders, guys.
I
Just
do have a
yeah.
coven. Let's talk about the difference between a cult and a coven real quick
Okay.
so that nobody creates a false narrative.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell us we're spreading propaganda.
A coven expands knowledge, expands resources. A cult does the opposite. A cult will withhold information as a way to control. So
Mhm.
cults go small, covens go big. So, yes, I do have a coven and a monthly coven newsletter. If anyone wants to sign up, there
Ooh,
will
I
be a
love
link.
that. I call my people who, like, support what we do, my glitterati. I don't even know how that name came up,
It's good.
but hi, gliteratis. We love you guys. You all know that I'm not spreading propaganda and I'm not a cult leader. Like, let's get real here.
I have not said this like publicly, but when I'm creating my Coven 13 newsletter that goes out on the 13th of the month, in
Obviously.
my head, I'm like, I'm talking to B2B witches.
Mhm.
Like, copywriting is spell work. When we learned how to write in elementary school, that subject was called spelling.
Oh my god.
It's right there in the name.
The
Like,
hell?
writing is spelling. That's why people are always trying to silence me because my voice has a lot of power. It carries a lot of weight. I have a lot of energy. It's big, and that is felt in my words. And I am also, because I'm mirrors and magnets, like that's what my energy field is made up of. I am people's invitation to rise. I am a living tower moment for a lot of people. And so if people don't want to grow, they're going to be like, she's mean. I'm like,
I hate when people say that. You're so mean. Is it mean or is it the truth?
right. Like, I have noticed that the more I heal, like, I did therapy forever. The more I heal, the more people are like, you're rude. And I'm like, I'm just direct. If I was a man saying this, like, I don't see you calling them rude. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't like it because of how
Oh
I
my
present.
god. Someone came at me on LinkedIn a couple days ago and she was like, "I don't understand why you're being combative." And I'm like, "I'm not combative. This is just my personality. Like, if you don't like it, move on."
Move on. And calling out oppressive systems for what they are, that's not being combative. Like, you're just saying, this is a trend I've noticed. These are things that I've noticed. This is what is happening. This is my experience. And people are like, you're trying to start a fight. And it's like, you just don't benefit from this truth.
Right. Expectations. Again, their expectations aren't set to align with us. And that's fine. We're not saying that everybody has to do exactly the things that we're doing or feel the way that we feel. Everybody needs to have expectations for themselves and boundaries for themselves that they set and they will not go past.
Yes. Okay. Ooh, this is a good time to tell people the difference between setting a boundary and enforcing a boundary because not
Mhm.
everybody knows the difference. So I'm going to give an example. Setting a boundary is when I told my family, if you cannot speak to me with respect, if you cannot treat me like a person, then you do not get to be in my life. And that was their opportunity to treat me like a person. They could not do that. And so I removed their access to me. I give people access to me based on their behavior, and I do not reward bad behavior. So when I block phone numbers, emails, socials, all of that, that is me enforcing a boundary. When you enforce a boundary, you have to walk somebody back to their place. And
Mhm.
then when you set it, that's like the first step where you draw a line in the sand.
Yeah. I love that. So I set boundaries with my kids and I'm like, if you guys don't want to get up and get your own water, then you won't drink water today. That's like one of my boundaries that I set.
It also teaches them, it sounds like, to be like self-sufficient and self-reliant. Like, do
No.
you want this?
Do you want to
You have the
live?
freedom to go do it.
Because if you don't want to live, then don't get up and get yourself water. It's
As I drink water.
very ridiculous.
Ooh, do you want to talk about hexing?
Yeah.
Okay. If you've been laid off, I highly recommend you hex your ex-employer. And here's an easy way to do it. First of all, I want to talk about what hexing is. Hexing is balancing the scales of justice. That's why people don't want you to do it. That's why people want you to be scared of it because it's you getting justice. That's what a hex is. And if people don't benefit from you getting justice, then they're going to tell you to be afraid of your own power. And another thing that I don't align with, people are like, oh, well, if you just put that negativity out in the world, it'll come back to you. I see a lot of people being assholes getting rewarded all day, every day. So
Mhm.
that math isn't mathing. So here's how I hex my ex employers. I call them out by name. I talk to the universe or whatever guides that you align with. Like everyone's got like spirit guides, ancestors, galactic allies. You call in whoever it is that you like or that you work with or whatever, and you say, this employer, call them by name, laid me off and I deserve justice. So I want you to balance the scales of justice in my favor. And then I like to clap my hands because that's a frequency. Like I said what I said frequency. And then you say, and so it is done. And then you move on about your day and you hand it over to your spirit guides. Like I have a big team of ancestors that are not nice
Mhm.
and they are warrior spirits and they don't play about me. So it takes time for spells to work. And what I like to do is I will write that spell down because journaling, you're connecting your mind, your body, like you're connecting things. So I'll journal it, I'll write it down, and then I speak it out loud. So now I'm thinking it, I'm writing it, I'm speaking it, I am it.
Mhm.
So then you just like embody that feeling. You're like, oh, I'm going to get financial justice. Yes, I am that bitch. And then go on about your business. And I noticed that when a lot of spiritual people talk about abundance, they always talk about it in the form of money, and it doesn't always show up as money. It could show up as money, but it could also show up as people start giving you free stuff, or all of a sudden you start getting like these like rent coupons or like cash back on your credit cards, or somebody hires you to do a project, or someone just like does a service for you for free. It can start showing up that way and then it builds. So the
Mhm.
more that you notice it, you're like, ooh, that is my hex working. When you take notice, the universe is like, oh, they like that. Let's do it again. And
Mhm.
so that's how you co-create with the universe. I'm a water sign. Water holds memory. You can, if you want to make a scream jar, which I love doing this. My parents are in a scream jar underneath my kitchen sink with some red chili flakes because that is spicy and that burns. So if you want to hex your ex-employer, you can get a clear jar with a lid and you fill it up with water, you scream into it, you put the company name in the jar, and then you put the lid on it and you shake that shit when you're feeling petty and then put it under your kitchen
Mhm.
sink.
Mhm.
And that just sends them bad vibes. And then you can put a protection spell around it so that it doesn't come back to you. Like I just say, like, I am protected. I am balancing the scales of justice. I also am a water sign and water is loyal to me. So like if someone tries to do a water spell on me, it ain't working.
Mhm.
It's not working.
And if you guys are interested, we're gonna be selling these water bottles on Etsy with the chili flakes inside. So feel free to purchase.
I do have
Please
some spells
comment.
on Etsy. I do have this exact I sell my Etsy spells. They're like digital spell books on Etsy for and they start at $5 because I'm like, if you got
Mhm.
laid off, I don't want to charge you more than $5 for one of these spells.
Right? We're the Etsy witches. Get ready, guys. I've never hexed anybody, but I feel like somebody has hexed me in the past. I don't know why. I've
You
just
can
always
also
had
break
a
a hex too.
feeling.
Like
How do you
what you
how do
can
you break
do.
them?
What?
How do you break them?
So here's what I do. I call back my power. So you can say, I call back my power from people, places, things, realms, entities that are using it with or without my permission. And my energy comes back to me cleaned, protected, and amplified. That'll also bring in random streams of income. I did that, and then people started showing up on my doorsteps, leaving me offerings. Like people from my
Oh,
past that had like old photos of me, they had borrowed something that I forgot about, and 3 people showed up in 1 week, leaving me offerings on my doorstep.
that's crazy.
And then I did it again, and an old neighbor that had moved away was returning my key to me, right as, like, my spirit guides were saying, "Bitch, you are the key." Another thing about
Wow.
that, because my energy, again, because it's mirrors and magnets, I am a key that unlocks dormant codes of basically like badassness, leadership, sovereignty. Like when people talk to me and I'm talking my ish, like it activates that in other people, which also makes people think that I am dangerous in me.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, a lot of people have been messaging me and saying, what you're saying is dangerous. What you're making people feel is dangerous. And I'm kind of like, what do you mean by that? And this one girl, she actually answered me. The others didn't. I think they were just being assholes. But she said if you give people the illusion of freedom, then things start to get messy. And I was like,
True. But who is that dangerous for?
yeah, the illusion of freedom. I mean, who's not free? I get that if you work for a corporation, they own you, or like, you have to follow like societal rules, whatever they are. But I don't know. It was a really weird conversation.
It sounds like someone who benefits from people feeling owned and trapped and
Mhm.
small because those people aren't going to change anything. They're just going to go with the status quo. And doing that made me violently ill.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think that there's something to be said also about, I don't know, living in your truth, whatever that is.
Mhm.
Um and your mental health is so important right now. I feel like with all the shit that's going on, just being able to say to yourself, like not to
Mhm.
anyone else, just to yourself, like what is my truth? How do I want to live today? Who am I responsible to? A lot of when I wrote that post that went viral, a lot of people were like, is Omnicom gonna let you write this? And I was like, well, I don't work there. The only people I answer to is my fucking kids. Like, I don't answer to anyone else. Am I a good human? Am I keeping them alive? Am I meeting their basic needs? Am I meeting my basic needs? That's who I answer to. I don't answer to the man. None of us should answer to the man. The man doesn't give us what we need to be mentally okay.
Yeah, I see. And I understand why people are like, I just want a basic job because that's what makes him feel safe, you
Yeah.
know? And like, I get it. Like, I went that route and not going that route is really hard. And not going that route has resulted in me not being able to find a full time job. And that has been incredibly difficult and incredibly scary. But I keep figuring out how to keep a roof over my head. When I tried to go back, when I was like, okay, maybe I just can't do this. Like it's been 2 years and 3 months of me just being myself, and I was like, if that is not producing the amount of money that I need, then like maybe I just can't do this anymore. And when I gave up on myself, all hell broke loose. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't give up on myself. The timing was just too loud. And so that's when I was like, well, mission is back on. If I
Yeah.
don't like something I see on the internet, I keep scrolling. I block and I
Right.
keep scrolling. I'm like, if I don't need it, I'm not going to engage with it. Because when people get pissy in the comments, it's like, you're a fan. You're a fan. And it's very obvious that you chose to be here and you feel so compelled to be here that you're writing and you're talking and you're giving me engagement. Like that's
Mhm.
fan behavior.
It's like that woman who I won't say her name, but I'm sure she's notorious. Everyone knows her. She's LinkedIn super duper famous. I wrote a post about recruiters like a month ago, and she attacked me on all my posts. She got me so much engagement though, so like that was pretty cool. But I messaged her because she's saying I'm lying, spreading propaganda, like the huge. And I messaged her and I was like, "What's the lie? If you tell me what the lie is, I'll write a retraction. I am open to learning. We're all learning. Tell me what I did wrong." And she couldn't tell me. And like the whole thing stemmed because I wrote about the applicant tracking system, the ATS. And I said, what the ATS does is it takes your resume, it generates an AI summary of your resume. And those summaries are what recruiters are reading. So, like, if your summary doesn't match a keyword, you automatically go into a different pile. And no, the ATS isn't automatically rejecting you. I'm sure some are. Like, the recruiter actually has to click the reject button. But what are they rejecting you based on? An AI summary and AI keywords that were generated by the ATS? Like what don't you want us to know or understand about what's going on right now? Like
And
that
why don't you want us to know why it works?
yeah, why? I don't know. I don't know why. Some of them are so scared and so
They're scared. That's what it comes down to. They're scared because again, that's cult behavior. When you're withholding information as a way to control, that's
right.
cult-like behavior.
Bitch, you're the cult. I am not a cult at all. Just because people resonate with my message doesn't mean that I'm spreading propaganda. Like propaganda are things that are not true. But
Mhm.
everything I say is true. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you what to do.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like we're not telling people what to do. We're just saying this is what I've witnessed, and if you resonate, great. If you don't,
Mhm.
that's okay too, but don't bother me with your BS.
We have less rage than people think we do.
Yeah, like when people are like, "You need peace." I'm like, "You have no idea how much peace I actually have."
I feel like, you know what? I just thought we can post about this rage in a funny and comedic way because we have peace with our rage. We have
Absolutely.
peaceful rage. And I can
I'm
talk like this even when I get angry. I can rage in a calmful voice.
Yeah, like I think that rage is the fuel in your tank that's going to get you where you want to go and like
Mhm.
get you out of a situation that's not good enough for you. But I think rage is productive. And I do not judge myself at all. And that's called unconditional love. Did you know if you judge yourself,
Mm.
you don't love yourself unconditionally? You're putting
Really? I
Mhm.
didn't know that.
I know I teared up when someone told me
Wow.
that.
I'm judging my Miami hair right now.
That's okay. And because I don't judge myself at all, I don't I my ego and I, we're cool. My dark side and I, we're great. Like I am not afraid of who I am. And what makes me so dangerous to weak ass people is that I cannot be shamed. And if you cannot be shamed, you cannot be controlled.
Wow. No, that 100%. If people can't make you feel bad for doing something, then they can't control you because you have accepted everything and who you are, period.
Period.
Yeah, that's a really powerful concept. I
And you
like
can
it.
always tell, like, who feels shame by the way they speak. People don't understand how much they give away. And, like, yes, I'm a psychic medium and my point of view is multidimensional. I channel different realms. So when someone comes at me, I see them so clearly that it scares them because I see them bigger than they see themselves. And
Mhm.
I see them very accurately because, like, energy and frequency does not lie. It is a universal language. And it scares people that I can see them that way. And it's like, well, then just quit being a dick and
Yeah.
we don't have any problems.
It's really hard though to accept your truth. It took me so long. And then even so, I mean, I've been in this industry for like 18 years and it took me so long to kind of get where I am and just like acceptance is key, right? So I accept that I don't have Apple, Amazon, Meta, Google on my resume or in my portfolio. I accept that.
Yeah.
So now when you tell me that Apple guy got the job, I'm like, okay, if that's who the client wants to go to, I don't control them. But I also would bring something completely different to the table
Right?
than they would. And I'm confident that I could have done that job amazingly. But it's about living in your truth and owning your truth and knowing your truth. Knowing your truth is probably the hardest thing that people can do. You know, it's kind of comes down to I don't know. It's like, do you want to be thinner? Do you want to be richer? Do you want to live in a bigger house? Do you want it's wanting things and then owning your truth of who you are right now in this moment are two completely different things. And I think that a lot of people are like, I'll own myself when I weigh 100 pounds less.
No, that's
I'll
backwards.
own myself, yeah, when I have the big job. No, you own yourself right now.
And that's how you get the big job. That's how
Yeah.
you get the things that you want. Like,
Mhm.
that's how you get on, like, the right path is, like, you gotta start by being, like, cool with who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, own yourself, guys.
Because
This
that's
turned into, like,
power that nobody
motiv
can take away from you.
yeah. Nobody can take away my mom always used to say so my mom's this, like, really renowned child psychologist in our area, and she worked with, like, really famous people, but I won't name drop because I'm not that kind of person.
I
Yeah.
am.
She always said there's two things that nobody can take away from you, your education and your sense of self. And it took me the education, that's self-explanatory, but the sense of self that took me so a really long time to understand and
Mhm.
to put into practice too.
Yes, it's a process. Like,
Mhm.
it's not easy. Like, it's a journey. Like, when I had to remove my parents' access to me because I do not reward bad behavior,
Mhm.
I was in therapy for a good 5 years with Dr. Sarah, the GOAT. Love her. I will shout her out till the day I am unalived because I just think she's so amazing. But then I had to do a lot of physical therapy. And like, there were weeks where I would see 3 to 4 therapists a week, like Dr. Sarah, acupuncture, physical therapy, I had to do physical therapy on my bones.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
it takes a long time, and another thing that I want people to know, it's like, if you are any kinda, like, spiritual whatever, like, that healing journey, it heals your lineage, and it takes time, especially for, like, old souls. Like, my soul's millions of years old, and the stuff that I've lived through in this life, it is stuff that took me out in past lives. And
Mm.
so I think a big part of why it's been so hard for me to get a job is, like, or a full-time job, I have a part-time job, is that I am having to alchemize and overcome things that took me out in past lives. And that is what is why it has taken me such a long time to get to where I am now. And when people are like, why isn't this working out for me? And it's like, well, journeys take a long time.
Mhm.
They're not overnight. And if you're an old soul, that makes things take a lot longer.
Yeah, agreed. Next episode, we should talk about past life regression. I have like stories that will blow your mind. Okay.
Okay, rapid fire.
Yeah.
Jillian, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Hollywood, Florida, 10 minutes from Miami Beach. So my childhood was, I'm a millennial, guys. So this was like these club hopping when you're 16 years old with your fake ID.
Okay, where did you go to school?
I went to University of Florida. Go Gators.
What is your sun, moon, and rising?
My sun is Scorpio, my moon is Gemini, and my rising is Sagittarius.
Well, we have a Gemini supermoon on Thursday. Get ready to have a fucked up period.
Shit, is that bad? Damn it. Wait, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow is like the peak of the full
Okay,
moon.
interesting. Self prepare for the full moon rising. Okay. What else?
That was all my rapid fire questions.
Okay. Let me do you. All right. Jess, where'd you grow up?
I grew up kind of all over Texas, like East Texas. I grew up in Nacogdoches. Not a fan. Lived in Houston for a while. Loved Houston. Lived in Dallas. Not a fan. And now I'm in Austin. And Austin is just sort of like lost its sparkle.
Really?
Yeah, I'm ready to get out of the country. Like, I want to live in London. When I told the universe I wanted to live in London, all these people from the UK started adding me on LinkedIn.
Oh, cool. I
Yeah.
love that. Okay, where'd you go to school?
I went to school at Stephen F. Austin. It is in Nacogdoches, and I studied fashion merchandising and got a minor in marketing.
Very cool. What's your sun, moon, and rising signs?
My sun is in Cancer, my rising is in Cancer, and my moon is in Virgo.
Oh, wow, you're so mysterious.
Virgo moons and mostly like earth moons, like we like building with our friends. Like we like making money with our friends.
Oh, that's interesting. I love that. All right. All right, guys. So I want to say one last thing. This podcast is sponsored by my good newish friend. Her name is Donnie. She has a store called Highlight Rituals. She's a shamanic healer. How do you say that? Shamanic?
Sure.
Shamanic healer. She imbues all the jewelry you buy from her with an energy that is imbued like to who you are. So
Cool.
for example, like I bought a crystal. I had a session with her. She talked to me about who I am, who I want to be. And she picked out this crystal for me, this necklace, and she made it. And literally, I was having issues like finding out who I am and like finding my true self, like we just talked about. And anytime I even think about the necklace or pick up the necklace or wear the necklace, I literally hear in my head, like, you are good enough. You are on the right path. You're doing what is meant for you. She's like a genius. So I'll link her site below this first podcast. All right, Jess, thank you for bringing your words and your mystic vibes. And if anybody wants to know how to be hexalicious, all you have to do is message Jess on LinkedIn and she will gladly walk you through it.
And I'll have a link. My tap link will be in the description or the comments, whatever it is. So all my links will be there. My Etsy store, if you want to book a tarot reading, that'll all be. in there.
Yeah, all our links will be in the show notes because we're like a legit podcast now, guys. So we are our first episode. You are listening to us December 5th. And we will be moving forward weekly on Fridays. We'll be dropping episodes. So prepare yourself for the movement, the unbothered movement.
Yes.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Incredible, I like it. I'm unstoppable, I love it. Unshakable, don't spoil it. It's undeniable. I see it, I want it, I get it.